All right, YouTube, give me 1 second as we get Facebook online here, and we'll go right into it today. All right, let's see here. How are you guys doing, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope. We're going to talk about some fun stuff today. Should be pretty quick, but I've said that before, and it hadn't been very quick, so let's go for it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my to the afternoon mix here with everybody. It's for everybody. Anybody who wants a little step in life, and I'm just gonna be quick with it, I hope. And I'm gonna give us two stories, two animal stories that kind of represent what happens when you get comfortable. So the first one I'm gonna tell is a pretty quick one, and what it is that if you go ahead and take a boiling pot of water, it's actually we'll take a pot of water and you put it on the stove and you put a frog in it, and you turn that that water up every degree, you turn it up a little bit more, you can actually boil that frog alive. Now, did you know that? Now, the reason that you can do that is because the frog doesn't actually notice the temperature change and it doesn't jump out. So it just boils itself to death before it even realizes it. So it stays in that comfort zone. And since there's no problem, as you've seen frogs, they'll sit there for a long time. Since there's no issue of anything making it jump out and it doesn't notice that the temperature is moving up slightly, then it dies. It literally boils to death. So we have to be aware of what our comfort level can do. Because by living in comfort, and I'm not talking about comfort as houses and homes and new cars, but I mean even that in itself can be a problem if you're not following up with it to exceed past that. If you're only getting the stuff that you want and you stop working, you're going to end up with some hot water because taxes are getting higher, wages are going down, prices of everything is going up. So if you've got these pieces of this that are representing all the things that are going higher, they're only going higher a little bit. You don't even notice that your taxes are getting higher. 1 cent every time it goes up. You don't notice it. But now all of a sudden you've got a $17, $20, $35 tax on a $15 item. You get what I'm saying? So, story number 2. So, guy's walking down the street, and I love telling this story. The guy's walking down the street, and all of a sudden he hears a, and he's kind of looking around. He's like, where is that coming from? So he doesn't know, so he keeps walking down the street a little bit further and gets louder. And so then he turns the corner at the convenience store he was going to, and all of a sudden he hears, and he's like, what in the world? And he looks down, and there's a dog. And he's like, okay. All right. And he starts laughing a little bit, so he goes inside the store. He gets what he wants, and he still hears the noise outside, just a little quieter, because, the walls and the doors, And he's like, he goes up to the cashier. He's like, hey, whose dog is that? He goes, oh, the guy's outside. He's sitting next to the dog. He's like, okay. Pays for stuff. He goes outside. Dog's still yapping. Oh! And he's sitting there like, what is going on? Because he could tell that the dog, that's not a sound of happiness. So he turns to the guy and goes, sir, is that your dog? The guy's like, yeah. He goes, what's wrong with him? I mean, he's yelping. Is he okay? He goes, nope. He's sitting on a nail. He's like, he's sitting on a nail? What? Why didn't he get up? He's like, it doesn't hurt enough. So, I love saying that, and I love pausing right there so people can kind of get their own piece of that story. The reason the dog didn't move is because it didn't hurt enough. It didn't hurt enough. Now, if that dog had the pain and it was a pain enough for him to get up and move, he will get up and move. For example, if you're in pain, you will adjust your body. You'll do one of these. But some of you will sit in pain just because it's pain. You've got to be able to make these moves, these things, these comforts. The dog was comfortable sitting where he was, and he wanted to stay where he was, so he decided that he's just going to yelp about it and complain about it. How many friends you know have problems, and they just about it? Oh my gosh, my job. Oh my gosh, my car. Oh my gosh, I'm so broke. How many people you know that do that, right? So if you're not willing to make any move to get up and do something different, to move to a different spot, so to speak, then that pain will never go away. All that will happen is that you will stay sitting on a nail, you'll stay yelping, and people will continuously ask you, why are you still sitting there? Or some people just want the attention. They just want to stay in their filth in their comfort just so they can get some attention from somebody else. So we got a frog that gets boiled to death because of comfort. We have a dog that's sitting on a nail in pain because he doesn't want to move, which means that he's comfortable staying where he's at, but it doesn't hurt enough. So the moral of today's story is that when you experience comfort in your life, be very careful of what's actually going on. The comfort you're experiencing in your life is not going to yield you to huge results. Nobody goes into the gym and just lifts to be comfortable. Because if you lift to be comfortable, you'll never gain any size. You'll never lose any weight. For those people who've ever bench pressed, when you're bench pressing and it starts getting a little hard, right? So that pain that you're feeling right there is those muscles. That's the muscles and the basis of the whole cycle. The muscles are growing. So by you bench pressing like that, you're actually, building those muscles, that pain. When you're at the gym, you're sweating and your body's aching because you've been doing too many sit-ups and you've been running. And that right there, that's that pain. But if you walk into a gym and you're able to walk around the gym literally at the same exact pace as you're walking into the gym, you're not sweating, you're not burning, yeah, that's comfort. That's sitting on a nail. You're not going to get any further. And so we have to make sure that we're willing to make those moves. You've got to get off of your nail. You know what your nail is, whether you know it or not. If you don't know what your nail is, pay attention to what you complain about. That's huge. Let me say that again. You don't know what your nail is. You remember the dog was sitting on a nail, right? He was sitting on that nail, right? Well, when that dog sitting on the nail, he knew the nail was the reason that he was barking, but he didn't get up. So in your life, what you're barking at, that is what your nail is. Now, the best way to get rid of that nail is to get up and do something. The two things I gave you about comfort, being boiled alive with 1 degree at a time with the frog and the dog sitting on a nail, is that both of them can be solved through action, taking action through something. So if you find out what your nail is, what's making you yelp, what's making you cry, take action to remove the pain. Take action to move to the next level. Take action to alleviate the pain so it doesn't hurt anymore. And that's all I wanted to tell you today. It is always your choice. It is always something that you get a chance to choose. You get to pick. You can pick whether or not you want to be great. You can pick whether or not you want to stay where you are and complain about it. But the thing is, understand, it is as you grow and as we grow into people, eventually people will stop listening to you, so you can't get the attention. And you have to find new friends who are willing to listen to your story because they're in pain too. So you got a lot of people sitting at the same table, all sitting on nails. But then you got people who are getting off their nails and leaving, and they can't stay in this circle. Why? Not because they don't care. I mean, I care about people. I listen to their stories. But when I listen to people's stories now, I hear victim mentality. I hear the fact that they're complaining about being a victim. Why did this happen to me? That person did this to me. In all reality, the hardest thing I had to do was figure out, I went to that conference I was telling you about, the greatest weekend I've ever had. The hardest thing about that conference for me was when they told us to tell a story that really hurt us. And I was telling about past relationships and things that have hurt me and how a woman had done something to me and a woman had done something to me. And they said, all right, now I want you to think about the prospect of what your involvement was in that. That was so hard because I had to take stock in that maybe everything that I saw, my circle of why, all the things, all these, oh, this girl did this, oh, I can't believe it, all that stuff was a victim mentality. The nail, I was sitting on a nail complaining about it, talking about it, how much it hurt, when I didn't realize I could get up and move off that nail. I took the victim mentality instead of taking responsibility for my part in that. And that was huge for me. So here's what I want you to do. Here's your homework. One, if you are complaining about something, if there's something you're complaining about, if you don't want to necessarily have anybody help you off the nail, because it's okay to ask for help. As a matter of fact, we need help. You cannot live life alone. That's the hardest thing for me to do. Sarah, the lady, the girl I was talking to, she always tried to get me to work with her, and that was hard for me to do because I'm so used to working alone. I've been alone for a long time, and I found power and strength in alone. But to let somebody in my circle and let somebody in on my vulnerabilities was hard for me. Very, very hard. But you got to be able to, one, ask for help if you need help. Two, get off your nail instead of complaining about it. So I want you to find your nail. That's all I want you to do. That is your goal for today, is to go and find your nail and write it down on a sheet of paper. Now, after you write your nail down on a sheet of paper, I want you to list 3 things about that nail that you think. you know, I don't have enough money because my job doesn't pay me enough, because, you know, I can't, my bills are too high, because, okay, and then at the bottom of that, I want you to think about, out of those 3 things that you put that about your, you know, you're not having the money or whatever your nail is, I want you to list 3 things of actually how it's your fault. So 1 will represent 1. So this one I said, your job's not paying you enough. Well, what you can say is that I don't have the skill set to actually be promoted. Or I haven't left this job and I know I can get more money somewhere else, but I'm scared. That's taking responsibility. Or my bills are too high, right? So be down here is that I spend too much money in places I don't need to spend money. So 1, find your nail, write it down on a sheet of paper. Seriously, I mean, do this. Write it down on a sheet of paper. 2, list 3 reasons why you feel that somebody else is, why that is affecting you, you know? And that's your victim mentality. But the third part of that, I want you to write the 3 reasons that correlate to all 3 of those pieces. And I want you to say what each one of those 3, how you are responsible for that. It's amazing how many people say, oh, I'm broke, and they're spending too much money on crap that they don't need. It's funny how people say, oh, I'm overweight, and that's my nail, but yet they don't want to eat right, they don't want to exercise, and they'll find another reason. I don't have time. Okay, so you don't want to eat right, which means that I don't really take the time to eat properly. 2, I don't like going to the gym very much because I feel uncomfortable. And 3, I haven't fitted into my schedule because I'd rather sleep and watch TV. Those 3 things, you see how I made my responsibility out of that. So that's what I want you to do. That's all I want you to think about. You are comfortable somehow, some way. Right now in your life, you're comfortable. Get off your nail. You're sitting in a pot of water. Jump out. Some kind of action will solve your problem. I promise you. Action destroys fear. Action solves comfort. If you haven't noticed, it's been an action week. So go out there and do something because you deserve it. Remember that I believe in loving each and every one of you, and I hope that you believe in loving yourself as much as I do. And if you ever need something, I got you. So I will talk to you guys later. Gals, I'll talk to you later. And yeah, remember, action solves the problem. Complaining does not. Have a great day. See you to Friday. See you tomorrow.